Wearing a face mask and using an oxygen tank, Alberto Fujimori walked out of a Lima prison a free man after more than a decade of incarceration. He was met outside the prison door by two of his children, Kenji and daughter right-wing career politician Keiko Fujimori.
Esperamos empezar todos un nuevo proceso.
All of us hope to start a new process. In our hearts, there is no room for hate nor rancor, only gratitude for everything that we have lived through and for everything that we are feeling at this moment.
The frail former president entered a sport utility vehicle which was mobbed by hundreds of supporters. It slowly drove away from the police base and prison where the former president had been serving a 25-year sentence since 2009 for corruption and ordering the massacre of 25 people in the early 1990s. Fujimori remains a highly divisive figure in Peru, and this humanitarian pardon, reinstated on appeal by the country's highest court, is no less controversial. The Regional Inter-American Court of Human Rights asked the Peruvian state to, quote, refrain from executing the order, but it went ahead anyway. Fujimori was originally granted the humanitarian pardon on Christmas Eve of 2017, sparking massive street protests. But months later, the pardon was overturned, and Fujimori was sent back to prison. His supporters credit him with stamping out the violent Shining Path movement and putting the economy back on track after rampant hyperinflation.
For me and all my Fujimori supporting sisters and grateful Peruvians, our hearts are bursting with joy because this man has been unjustly imprisoned. He should not have been there. He should have continued working to support all of Peru, as he did when he started.
Many believe he ruled with an iron fist during his decade in power in the 1990s, a period marked by rampant corruption and widespread human rights abuses. Gisela Ortiz is the sister of one of the students killed in a 1992 death squad massacre.
As relatives of massacre victims, we demand for the law to be respected. Law is equal for everyone, even if her last name is Fujimori. The processes and paperwork must be followed. If he is entitled to a pardon, this will be proven. But we don't want for our right to justice to be mocked. We don't want years of hard work by victims' relatives to be stamped on because it is part of a political arrangement.
Fujimori's time in office ended in disgrace when he resigned by fax from Japan, his parents' homeland, just as he was starting a third term in 2000. His downfall came after leaked videotapes showed his former spy chief, Vladimiro Montesinos, bribing lawmakers with stacks of cash. After 5 years in Japan, he flew to Chile, planning to launch his candidacy for the 2006 elections in Peru, but instead he was arrested and extradited in 2007. His trial was seen as a travesty by his supporters, but for human rights activists, it was a milestone in the fight for justice. Dan Collyns, CGTN, Lima.